All right, today is May 9, 2019. This is the meeting of the Kubernetes Storage Special Interest Group. As a reminder, this meeting is public, recorded, and posted on YouTube. Today on the agenda, our primary task is to go over the Q2 2019 115 items that the SIG is working on and get updates on those items. If there's any PRs or designs that need discussion, feel free to add them to the agenda, and we'll get to them after the planning. And then finally, there are a few announcements that we want to discuss. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, we have the migration engine of in-tree plugins to CSI. Any updates on this?
Yeah, so it's a work in progress. There's like pretty much heavy work going on with resizing inline volume support and attach limits. Those are the three main streams of work. I think the designs are pretty much locked down for each of them. And yeah, it's a matter of getting through the PRs at the moment.
Cool. Thank you very much. Next item is migration CI and test, and I guess that's probably not started yet.
No, the CI is also in a good shape with David making a lot of progress on that front. It in fact found out some pretty good bugs already, which has since been fixed.
And so how close to complete is the CI work?
I think, so the framework is ready, but I think David right now is working on setting up the test grids to make sure we can actually monitor the results.
Got it. Okay, cool.
He has a PR out with test infra changes.
Sounds good. All right, thank you, Deep.
Sure.
Next item is support for online, offline resizing, volume expansion for CSI moving to beta. Amant, updates on this?
Yeah, so we are not moving this to beta. It'll remain in alpha because it's a minor thing, but it's because we are adding a new secret field to the CSI persistent volume source. And Jordan says that because we are adding a new field, it cannot immediately go to beta. So that was the blocker. But we are doing everything else as we set out to do. Like we are adding support to GCPD, EBS driver, OpenStack Center. We are working on the migration bits. So none of our goals change, but I'm afraid this will remain in alpha.
Okay, that makes sense. So that means next quarter a move to beta should be much easier.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, Amant. Next item is block volume support, which remains in beta, but we need to add more tests. Ben, do you happen to be on the line?
Yeah, I'm here, and I still have no updates.
Okay. Next item is CSI pod inline volume support. Vlad, do you have any updates on this?
I think Vlad is not here, but he's been making good progress on this. I think it's looking in good shape.
Okay. Next item is addressing the CSI PV related issues for this issue. Any updates on that, Michelle?
No updates here.
Okay.
I think this is this is more of a bug fix, so.
Okay. Can we reduce the priority on this, or
sure.
Okay. A 2 or a 3?
Maybe 2.
Okay. All right. Next item is moving the mount library to external common repo. Core Kubernetes and CSI drivers can consume that mount library. Last update here, there was good progress being made. Travis or Michelle, any updates?
Yeah, I'm here this time. I haven't done anything with this in about the last week and a half, but all of my smaller PRs are merged. And I started on this last night to take the big PR that is the major refactoring and rebase that on top of all the new changes. So I hope to have something new for review early next week. So still working on it, but yes, lots of good progress.
Cool. Thank you very much, Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Hemant or Jan, per node attach limits remaining in beta but being redesigned to incorporate CSI.
Yeah, so the KEP was merged, and we are working on Jan has opened a PR for doing the benchmarking with volumes, because it only includes pods right now. Then Fabio has a PR out for updating CSI node object to incorporate the volume limits. So we are making progress.
Cool, thank you.
We have API PR out and waiting for review.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I plan to review it today, and then I will schedule a time to review it with Tim next week too.
Cool. Thank you all. Okay, next item is CSI volume capacity, usage metrics, and documentation. This should be fairly small, so we don't have a enhancement issue for it. Any updates?
Yeah, there's a PR out. I'm reviewing it. It's almost done. Needs some tests. I've been asking for some tests, so that's it. That's why we have blocked on. Is Humble online? No. Okay, but almost done. Needs tests.
Cool. All right, thanks a lot, Hemant. Next item is per PVC provisioning secrets. We are still looking for an owner here, I believe.
We have an owner now.
Oh, awesome.
I think Luis and Grant from Portworx are taking the lead on this.
Okay. Okay, so that is good news. Hopefully we get that completed this quarter. Next item is Snapshot delete volume finalizer when a snapshot is being created.
This is complete, it's merged.
Oh, awesome. Okay, is there anything outstanding here like tests or documentations, or can we mark this complete?
Oh, new documentation, right?
Documentation. Okay.
Doc. Okay.
Cool. So we'll leave it open, but it looks like it's close to being done, which is great. Next item is snapshot execution hook.
Yeah, so the cap is merged. So I started the coding. We need a repo for this one.
Okay.
So should this be under Kubernetes SIG? Or I don't know what is another place?
Kubernetes SIG is probably a good place for it. I think the owners for this should be SIG Node.
Node?
Or, yeah, SIG Node or SIG Apps.
Okay. Okay.
Let's
we don't really, I don't think anyone from SIG, did anyone from SIG Node reviewed this? I don't know. But SIG Apps, of course, reviewed this, and they will be using this.
Yeah. I think SIG Node, the reason we want them to review this and own it is because as far as, based on my discussions with Tim Hawkins, the long-term plan here is that Kubernetes will be the one executing these hooks.
Okay.
So basically kind of generic pod commands that you can trigger not just for QS on QS, but potentially for other sorts of operations as well. So it might be worth getting Node to take a look at this as well. But send an email and we'll sync offline.
Send an email to who? Just to you or to which, some group? Or?
Send one to me and Jing, and then we can start looping people in.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Next item is snapshot quota.
Yeah, so I look at this. I just started a talk on this, but turns out the PR that got merged to add quota support for CRD only added this total count of CRD resource. So we actually get that. We should get that without any coding changes. Just need some documentation. But if we want to add something more, like what we have for PVCs, like per namespace, per storage class, we need to add a quota evaluator that is in tree. It's on the core. So talk to Jing about this. I think we're going to put that part on hold for now. Yeah.
So can we just scratch this item for this quarter?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think we'll just need to add some documentation. That's it. Yeah, we can remove that. That's fine.
Okay. Okay. Next item is CSI out of tree automating release cars. That was done. Refactoring kubelet device plugin for reconciliation. This is pretty close to being done, so it's been approved by me and waiting for approval by node owners. I'll try to ping Vish to do that today. Hopefully we can get it done soon. Next item is CSI entry PVC as a data source. John, any updates on this?
I think this is the cloning stuff.
Oh, okay. That's on my plate to help review. Okay. Next item is volume snapshot namespace transfer. This cap did not did not get merged, so will remain in design this quarter. So we'll change the goal here to design. And let's change that to started since that design and discussion has started. Next up is scalability testing. Michelle, there was somebody that reached out to me on Slack asking to help with this, and I routed them to you. I don't know if they reached out to you.
I did not hear from anyone.
Okay. Okay, I'll just see if I can follow up with them again. Next item is addressing issue. So we already talked about that. Next one is group volume snapshot. Consistency groups design. Jing or Xing, any updates?
So Jing and I started discussing about this. We had something. We did have some doc that we put together a few months ago when we started talking about this, and then we decided to focus on execution hook first. Right? So now we basically go back to that, but at least we have a starting point. We'll need to discuss more.
Okay. Sounds good. Next up is generic populator data source. This, I don't think, I didn't see a cap for this, so I don't think this went anywhere this quarter. We can follow up with John when he's back on. Next three items are about moving the generic CSI drivers to separate repos, NFS, iSCSI, and Fiber Channel. Pratik or Mathusan, do you have any updates on any of this?
For the NFS driver, the PR to add the end-to-end test is merged.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Any updates on the iSCSI side?
I think we're still looking for, or actually, John, I think you said, oh, is John not here? I think Ben was going to help review some of the iSCSI stuff.
Okay.
I have the iSCSI reviews on my plate as well.
Okay. Okay, and then any updates on Fiber Channel, Mathusan or Matt Wong?
No update.
Okay. Next is non-recursive volume ownership. Haman, any updates on this one?
Yeah, so this is a design goal for 115. We are still kind of hashing out a design. Zing also is working on a proposal, I believe, and that's the status is. So we will have a meeting this week, I think. I'll reach out to Jing and see where she is, and then we'll go from there.
Cool. And then related file permission handling for Windows.
No updates on that front.
Okay.
Maybe Hemant, can you add me as part of that meeting? And then
Yeah, okay,
I
sure.
can
Yeah.
see. Yeah. If there's anything you can contribute.
And then revisiting UID GID handling with volumes. Brad?
Yeah, I don't have an update on this.
Okay.
Yeah, we are tracking this in the same item. Actually, see if
Right.
we can. Our design can include the UID GID handling. There has been some discussion on the bugs, but nothing conclusive yet. There are blocker issues there, and that need a discussion of its own. So
Okay. Sounds good. Next item is volume expansion for stateful sets. Last update here was there was a doc started since design only. We'll look into it next week. Any updates on that?
yeah, so I have asked Sadak to schedule a offline call because he has proposed like 3-4 solutions, and we need to go over like which one will work and what will work because but I haven't heard back from him, so maybe this week I'll hear something back. So there are like, that's where we are at.
Okay. Next item is CSI volume health design. Shane or Nick Wren?
Yeah, so Nick updated the doc. That is there's a doc for the overall design and also for local volumes. And I'm working on the part for CSI. So we are discussing and think need more update.
Okay, thank you. Next item is post-GA in-tree topology. Deep, any updates on this? This is the switching the default storage class to use late binding work.
Yeah, I don't have much progress on that yet.
Okay.
We have just like just a quick update. OpenShift test suite already runs using just delayed binding by default, and all the standard Kubernetes all of them pass. By the way,
Nice.
we made some PRs in Kubernetes to fix that, so it should be not too painful.
Yeah, I think the only thing to consider is changing it, is changing it going to break users that might have had workflows depending on PVCs getting down first before pods starting.
Yeah, the compatibility aspect, right?
Yeah, it's like kind of a gray area because default storage class isn't like an API, but it is kind of behavior. So I think we'll need to figure out that aspect of it.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, next item is pass ownership created by metadata from stateful sets to PVCs. Haley, any updates on this?
Yeah. So I was able to take a first blush at some implementation details and trying to draft up the cap. This moving forward, I should have more time to devote to this, but it doesn't seem too tricky. Mostly an issue, me and Michelle's helped me a little bit, but yeah, or a lot.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Haley. Next item is pluggable end-to-end test framework documentation. Documentation PR was out last time we talked. Any updates on that?
Yeah, the PR is being reviewed right now. It'll get merged once we get LGTM.
Cool.
Yeah, and once that merges, then I'll go ahead and send an email out to the SIG mailing list with like links to the instructions and stuff like that.
Awesome. This will be pretty powerful. Next item is CSI entry read-only handling. We were looking for an owner for this. I don't think we have one. Is that correct, Michelle?
Oh, sorry, which item is this?
This is the read-only work.
Yeah, I don't think we have an owner for this.
Okay. Maybe we can get John to pick this up as part of the cloning work. I'll try to remind him. Okay. Next item is CSI spec alpha beta GA designation. We had a meeting last week to review the proof of concept, and there seems to be general consensus in it. We're going to go forward and get that merged into the CSI spec. For those who are interested, the proposal is not to have a separate proto or separate service for alpha. Instead, the proposal is there are decorators that you can apply to fields and methods. And when alpha fields and methods are added to the CSI spec, they will be decorated as such. And then there'll be a new capabilities, alpha capabilities block for discovery. And then if things need to be changed, methods can be deleted, but fields cannot. They will be deprecated. Their field numbers will be reserved. And you can just add new fields. And then once a alpha feature is ready to be promoted to GA, it will be just have the alpha decorators removed from it and then also added as a capability in the normal non-alpha capability section. What this means is that if we have a lot of churn on the spec, we could potentially end up with a lot of kind of reserved fields that were used for alpha but are no longer used. But that does mean we need to hold the bar a little bit higher than we would for experimental. These would be features that we really consider moving forward with and seems like a solid design to me. And next up is supporting containerized CSI node plugin in Windows with the storage proxy.
Yeah, so this is still prototype in progress. I'm not blocked on anything at the moment. So, just going through the various API functions, have a sync up set up with Jing today to go over some of the finer details, and we'll have a cap ready for 160.
Cool. And then CSI entry metric support.
I think this is same as the one that we had before, the capacity metrics. The PR numbers also match. So I think.
Okay. Should I just nuke this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Hemant, this, or not Hemant, Deep, the announcement about Windows supporting a Linux kernel, is that going to have any impact on our work? Deep, do you know anything about that?
You might be talking on mute.
Okay, well, we can talk about it another time. Next up is announcements. So KubeCon EU is coming up in Barcelona next week, or not next week, the week after next week. There are a lot of storage sessions. Take a look at the slides here for helping discover which sessions to attend related to storage. There is also a contributor summit on Monday before the conference. If you're interested in attending that, please register here. Last thing is, do we want to cancel meeting during KubeCon week or keep it? Anybody?
Cancel.
Okay.
We'll do ad hoc meeting in Barcelona, if people are there.
Yeah. Seems reasonable. Any objections to canceling the next meeting, and then we'll meet 2 weeks after KubeCon? Okay. We will consider the next meeting canceled, and then we'll reconvene in 4 weeks. Okay, and I'll update the notes here. Was there anything else anybody wanted to talk about? KubeCon or any of the items that we're working on or anything else at all? There's a comment, the link to lots of storage session requires you to request access, which I did. As long as you're part of Kubernetes dev or Kubernetes SIG Storage Google groups, you should have access to it. So please join one of these groups, Kubernetes SIG Storage or Kubernetes dev. But for those of you who can't see the content, here it is. And there are a lot more sessions than this, so please take a look at the program schedule as well if you're interested. Okay, if that's it, then we get 30 minutes back in our day. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Sent to home in Atlanta.